Where are you getting money now to keep the church running?
Okay, in that regard, the Cardinal has seen fit to cover the bills for heat, water, and electricity. And in our part, what we try to do is reduce the operating costs as much as we can. As you found out when you come in, you didn't have any lights on.
Right.
Well, that helps them with their electric bill. It's an effort to try to help, even though we're in the kind of adverse conditions. And if you came in, you notice the back doors are closed here.
Yep.
And the vestibule is kept warmer than the main body of the church, because this is really a waste of heat.
Right.
So the night people now shut the doors, and when the thermostat happens to be in there too,
Right. Well,
so they can control the temperature and they can keep the cost of the heating down.
And keep themselves warm while they.
Oh, yeah,
while they
definitely.
keep it
Whereas the heating this winter is going to go up
Oh,
about
yeah.
40%.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So, I mean, we're talking serious money. But even with the conditions that we're operating under, the parishioners still are attempting to support the church in keeping the expenses of operation as low as we can do it.
Now, the Archdiocese, if they're paying some of the bills, if they're trying to close you down, but they're paying some bills, that's sort of in direct conflict with what they're trying to do. What's your take on that?
I'm going to say no comment.
Okay,
I agree with what you said. It's totally in conflict.
yeah,
But there again, I wouldn't want it to see stopped,
of course not.
all right? Because it makes a big difference.
Yep.
I mean, it's not a large financial parish. You go into some of these parishes, and I've been to them,
Right.
that are on Vigil, and they're talking, God's sake, their savings accounts are higher than our operating cost.
Wow.
I mean, really incredible. And their properties are beautiful.
Yep.
And I'm talking golf-type, grass conditions, beautiful churches, closed. Now, why are they closed? I mean, why would you even pick on that? If the church was dilapidated,
You know why
I
they
can
closed?
understand.
I'll tell you why they closed, because they didn't have people like you and your congregation that are coming here for vigils.
Well,
That's-
these people now, they're on vigil too, by the way.
Yep.
They have families that sleep overnight. Families. Mother, father, children that come in and sleep overnight.
What a wonderful.
An incredible situation. And we've seen it. I'm not talking from the back of my head.
Yep.
This is real. We've been in the church, observed their conditions. It's incredible. People are trying. People are trying.
Well, that's the most important thing. I want to get back to these CCD classes that you were talking about. 'cause
Before
you-
I go into that, could I
Okay.
just mention, when you're talking about here,
Sure.
another benefit that the Archdiocese has derived because of this, our being here, this church is still in one piece. If this was left alone in this neighborhood without anybody there, you would have all these beautiful windows broken, you would have people would have tried to come in here to sleep overnight, to be out of the cold and things. A lot of things, we've protected an awful lot of this property because this is our church, this is the house where Christ is.
And it is beautiful.
And
It's
it is
just
a sin
absolutely
to
stunning.
destroy at the stations, the artwork, and it was the first church in the United States, well, I know in here in the Archdiocese that was named for St. Therese. She had just been canonized, and we got permission to put her name on the church. And it's the only church in the Archdiocese in the name of St. Therese, although I've been corrected one time by someone from in there that there is another church. However, if you spell Theresa and it's not Therese, it's a different saint. So all I know is I'm a third order Carmel, and maybe that's why I'm fighting all more, because she was a Carmelite, and that was based on religion, not on all this other stuff of joy and happiness. It's the religion, and to take, as I said, the sacraments away from these people, it's just,
It's a sin.
It is,
a sin.
it cries out to heaven.
Now, there were 300 children that were benefiting from these CCD classes,
Right.
which you had told me prior to going on camera, and a lot of them were split up to different churches and
That's
things like
correct.
that. And there's obviously no CCD classes. You don't know
No,
where any of
we
those
have not
people
had any in
run.
3 years, that's correct.
And now you've got a new high school that's probably 300 or 400 yards from us.
That's
And
right.
I'm sure those children would just love to come to a place like
Well,
this.
it was family, as I said to you. The children would leave home, they go to school, and we had a mass at a certain time, 8:30, so the people got their children to school, came into mass here. Many times grandparents were bringing them in, or little children and all. They'd come here, and then they, the parents would go home. After school on CCD days, the parents didn't even come down to go get their children because they came immediately from there right up here to CCD. Then the parents came down and visited and had a little camaraderie in the hall while the children were in CCD, and then they all went home. So it was a family unit, and now they're so split up, we wouldn't know how to begin, It's just that we have so many new people moving in, people of God that need a place to come to. And they come to the church during the day, they come in to pray, what a lovely church, and then they find out it's not open. They come here Sunday morning still, 10 o'clock, looking for Mass. It's not here.
It's not open. I was brought to my attention that there was a large community of new races and nationalities that are coming into the city, particularly the Brazilian community, and some of them are now having their services in basements, in houses that aren't safe and things of that nature, and we obviously would love to, be able to get whatever services that we can for them. And what is your take on any of the, the new people that are coming into the community that would like to take part in all of these services that St. Theresa has to offer?
Well, it's hard to make a judgment at this time. They come in little groups or little families together with their children to pray, and one particular lady brought the child up, and I explained who St. Therese was. It was a teaching moment, and it was wonderful. But you see, that should be available to all of those children. Right. And, we welcome everybody. This church is open. Come and be with Christ. That's the thing. Right. But we don't have the permission to do that.
So basically...